We've got another episode of Indie Attack for you. I'm Woody,
And I'm Kelson.
and today we are playing the infamous Frog Fractions. Now,
Yes.
if you've never heard of Frog Fractions before, you should just go play it right now, because coming into this game blind is a lot of the surprise.
Yeah, which I had a wonderful experience with that. I was completely unaware of what this was, and I was actually a little dismayed that we were going to be playing a game about fractions today. I was going to bummed out about that, and then what followed was not an educational game. It turns out.
So, I don't even know really how I'd classify this as a game. It's a constantly, genre shifting, in the
Yeah.
moment, weird thing.
Right, it's very amorphous, and it kind of it tries to just be all kinds of gameplay.
Yeah, it starts off you're a frog in a lily pad, and you eat bugs with your tongue, and that gets you points.
Right.
And then you slowly sort of break the boundaries of what that is until you go and, you eventually, it becomes a shmup, and you're in space.
Right.
And then you go
Star
to
Fox-esque.
Bug Mars. Yes, Star Fox.
Yeah.
You go to Bug Mars, and you do courtroom drama and, intense moral decisions and trivia.
Right.
And then you go just into the ocean while someone explains the fake history of boxing.
Yeah, boxing that apparently didn't exist with actual punching to the face beforehand. And then a text adventure.
Oh yes, there's a text adventure. There's eventually a financial simulator where you have to plot out the economy of your country.
Yes.
So, anyway, it's hard to classify this as what it is. It's pretty genre defying. It's one of those you kind of have to chalk up as being very much about the experience.
Yes, absolutely. And it's very funny too.
Yes.
It's
funny, and it's funny in a way that's not annoying.
No, it's legitimately clever stuff, and it's just wry, and it has its just own it basically just sets up this sort of epic lore about your frog dude, that kind of builds as you go, and Bug Mars and all this madness. So it's not it's not obnoxious. It's actually quite humorous.
I'd almost kind of compare it to Hop Slide in a way of
yeah.
some of the weird stuff you can pull. You go down and get a billion fruit.
Yes, exactly. That was the moment that I realized this was not an educational game when you can. I was like, wow, that's a really big jump in my score from 10 fruit to a billion.
The one thing that I don't even know if I would call it a negative. I would call it maybe a sticking point is the text adventure portion of this.
Yeah.
Which is, it fits in tone with the game to just randomly switch into a text adventure. But it's kind of a difficult text adventure, especially because it's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy style text adventure where, hey, nothing actually makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
So it's not just about figuring out parsing what you want to do, it's also figuring out what you have to do. And, silly things like you have to use a coffee cup to get pink goo and put it in a perfume dispenser so you can go to sleep.
Right.
And it fits with the irreverent humor of the game, but it makes actually playing it a little bit weird.
Yeah, I would agree there that it is rather challenging for a text adventure game. Granted, it's not my cup of tea normally, text adventure, so it's doubly challenging, I feel like. But yeah, the overall experience.
Yeah, this is a definite recommendation, I think.
Yeah,
with the overall.
I agree. I completely agree. It's just one of those from the gestation pit of just gaming history and the internet, and it manages to pull it off, and not be.
And
yeah,
we'll also have to look out for Frog Fractions 2, which has been kickstarted, and apparently the release schedule, I guess you'd call it, for Frog Fractions 2 is he's just gonna put it up somewhere. and people have to find out that Frog Fractions 2 came out.
That's like the ultimate in like guerrilla marketing campaign.
You really gotta trust the guy to. Yeah, I made Frog Fractions 2. Totally, you just haven't found it yet.
Right, exactly.
All right, so check out Frog Fractions.